Ever feel like, there's got to be more to this whole working thing, more than just trading time for a paycheck?
Absolutely.
Today we're diving into James Altucher's The Rich Employee. And just to be clear, it's not about, like, being a millionaire.
Right.
Though, wouldn't hurt, would it?
It's about a different kind of wealth.
Exactly. It's about unlocking that wealth within a job. We've got this summary packed with Altucher's insights. What really jumped out at you? Where should we even start?
It's interesting how Altucher redefines rich employee. Like you said, it's not about a specific salary. It's more about building leverage.
Okay, I like that. Building left.
Yeah, leverage through skills, mindset, and, of course, smart money moves, regardless of your 9 to 5.
And he makes it surprisingly approachable. I mean, it's not some stuffy business book, right?
Very relatable.
One thing that really hooked me was this idea of a daily practice tied to the 1% rule.
Oh, yeah, the 1% rule.
Have you heard of this?
Definitely. It's
Yeah.
a game changer.
Tiny improvements daily, right? But they snowball into huge growth. Like, it reminds me of that compounding effect we hear about with money, but it's applied to, well, everything else.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. It's compounding for, like you said,
Yeah.
everything. Like, imagine you improve your writing skills by just 1% each day.
1%.
Might seem small, right?
Negligible, almost.
But over a year, think about it, you're 37 times better. That's the power of compounding.
Wow. Okay, that's a powerful example.
And you see it everywhere. Athletes use it. Those tiny gains add up to gold medals.
That's a good point. So, okay, I got to ask, how do we apply this? If you could pick one thing, just one, to get 1% better at each day, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Think about it. While you do, let's jump into another big idea, the idea economy. It's like this whole new playing field, right?
It is. Altucher's argument is that individual ideas are currency now. Like, your value isn't tied to just where you work. It's about the unique solutions you bring to the table.
It's about what you bring to the table. And that's where these rich employees, they thrive. They get it.
Exactly.
It opens up possibilities beyond just the paycheck, right?
It does. So much more than a paycheck.
That stat about multimillionaires having an average of 14 income streams, I
Yeah.
have to admit, that kind of blew my mind.
Right. It just reinforces this idea that security comes from diversification.
Diversification.
Not from relying on one single income source. It's like that saying, what is it? Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
Especially, I mean, look at today's job market, right?
Unpredictable.
Exactly. Multiple income streams are key.
It's not even just about the money, is it? It's about that freedom, the control that comes with having, like, option.
Having choices.
So let me ask you,
Yeah.
what's one potential side hustle, doesn't matter how small, could be anything, that aligns with your interests?
Yeah.
Just something to get those entrepreneurial gears turning.
That's a good question.
It's all about exploring those possibilities.
It is. Even just exploring a side hustle can spark that entrepreneurial spirit. And you never know what doors it might open.
And that ties into Altucher's entreployee concept, right? Which
Yeah.
is kind of like having your cake and eating it too, isn't it?
It really is. You've got the entreployee who uses their current job. It's like a stable base, right?
Right.
And they use that base to build their skills, network, and even generate income streams, but all for future ventures.
It's brilliant.
They are entrepreneurial, but within, like, a traditional setting.
Right, which I think challenges that whole, like, reckless leap image people have of entrepreneurship, doesn't it?
It does. Altucher, he emphasizes mitigating risk.
Right, not just jumping in blind.
Exactly, not blind risk-taking. So you've got that stable income, and it allows you to take risks, calculated risks, experiment, and you have a safety net.
I love that. So what's, like, one concrete step someone could take today to, I don't know, embrace that entreployee mindset, but in their current role?
Well, I think a great starting point is for people to really identify the value they bring to their current job.
Okay.
Like, ask yourself, what skills, what knowledge am I using right now in this job that I could apply elsewhere?
Oh, I love that. It's about recognizing those entrepreneurial instincts that might be, like, lying dormant, right?
Exactly. They're in there somewhere.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about mindset. It's something Altucher really emphasizes, right?
He does. Big time.
Why do you think that is?
He argues that even with, you've got constraints in a job, there are always constraints, but you still have immense power
Power over.
your reactions, your choices.
Even within those constraints.
Yes. You can choose how you react to things.
Yeah.
It's about adopting a proactive mindset, a growth-oriented mindset.
And I think a big part of that, according to Altucher, is who you surround yourself with.
100%.
He says, avoid spending time with people who bring you down. Spend more time with people you love and who love you. It's about surrounding yourself with those who lift you up, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's about curating your inner circle, right?
Your inner circle, I like that.
Surround yourself with positive influences, mentors, and people who challenge you, make you think differently, help you grow. That's huge for maintaining that rich employee mindset.
Speaking of mentors, Altucher also dives into leadership, which I thought was really
It's
interesting.
a crucial aspect, yeah.
And this isn't about climbing that corporate ladder, you know.
Right.
It's about empowering others, even in your existing network.
It's a different way to think about leadership.
It is.
Yeah.
So how does Altucher define leadership?
He sees it as like a way of giving back, you know?
Sorry.
He writes, the rich employee creates so much value, he or she has credit to spare and can easily just outright give it to others.
That's a great quote.
It's not about hoarding success.
Share the wealth. Right.
Exactly. It's about making a positive impact.
It's about recognizing that being a rich employee isn't just about, like, personal gain. It's about contributing to something, well, bigger.
Right, I think so, yeah.
So let me ask you, who in your network could benefit from your guidance, from your support, even in, a small way? How can you step into that leadership role? How can you make a difference?
That's a really good question. I think we all need to be asking ourselves that.
We all have something to offer.
We do. It really makes you think, doesn't it? About the people around us and the impact we can have.
Totally. And it doesn't have to be like this big grand gesture.
Right, exactly.
It could be something small.
It really could. Even something like, offering advice.
Yeah. Just sharing some of your experience.
Sharing a resource, even. Like, that can be a form of leadership, too.
It all ties back to that idea of rich employees.
Yeah.
Not holding back, not hoarding their success, but using it to, like, lift others up.
I love that. Lifting others up. That's what it's all about.
Okay, before we wrap things up here, there's this one quote from the summary that really stuck with me. It said, do something today that tomorrow people will say is great.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a call to action.
It is. It's about creating a future, not just for ourselves, but one that we can all be proud of.
Yeah. And it's about making choices today that will have a lasting impact, not just for tomorrow, but down the line.
And I think sometimes it's easy to get caught up in waiting for that perfect moment,
Right.
waiting for permission,
Totally.
But this quote, it reminds us that we have the power to act now. We don't have to wait.
We have the power, and I love how that ties into being a rich employee. It's about being, like, proactive,
Right.
resourceful.
Yes. And consistently striving,
Striving for what?
to create value for yourself, for sure, but for others, too.
Exactly. Okay, so as we start to wrap up our deep dive here into the rich employee, I hope everyone listening is feeling, inspired, empowered to really take control of their career journeys.
It's about realizing that it's a journey. It's not like you wake up one morning and you're a rich employee.
It's not a destination. It's like the path you're on.
Exactly. And what I appreciate about Altucher's approach is that it's, it feels doable.
Yeah, totally.
It's not just some vague ideas. He gives you actionable steps.
Yeah.
It's not about becoming a millionaire overnight, although, hey, that'd be nice, right?
Wouldn't say no to that.
But it's about, embracing those daily practices, nurturing your ideas, building a life not just of financial security, but like personal fulfillment too.
That's beautifully said. Beautifully said. I gotta say, I'm walking away from this with, like, a whole new perspective on what it even means to be a rich employee. It's not just a catchy phrase, It's deeper than that.
It really is. It's a whole philosophy. It's a way of approaching work and life.
And what I love about Altucher is how practical his advice is.
He gives you tools,
Exactly. It's not just these pie-in-the-sky aspirations. He's like, here are the steps, go do it.
Exactly. It's about taking action.
So to recap, because we covered a lot of ground here, we talked about the power of that daily practice, right?
Small steps, big results.
The 1% rule. We talked about the idea economy and all the doors that opens.
And all those possibilities.
The whole concept of being an entrepreneur, which I love. And, of course, the importance of mindset. Can't forget mindset.
And surrounding yourself with the right people.
Your inner circle.
Absolutely.
And how being a rich employee isn't just about you. It's about, lifting others up along the way.
Giving back. Paying it forward.
Okay, wait. Before we forget, we have to mention those 14 income streams again.
Yeah. Can't leave that out.
14.
It's a good reminder that it's about more than just your salary. It's about diversifying your skills, diversifying your income.
Mm.
It's about creating real security, real freedom, and having options.
Options. That's the
Yeah.
key word. So for anyone listening who's feeling that, I don't know, that itch, that desire for something more, remember, you have the power.
You really do. More than you think, probably.
You have more control over your career, your destiny, than you probably realize. And you can be a rich employee, too. Rich in skills, rich in options, and rich in the positive impact you have on the world.
Well said. I love that. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, thank you so much for diving into all this with me. This was, I don't know, eye-opening.
It was my pleasure. These conversations are always so insightful.
And everyone listening, keep those entrepreneurial spirits burning bright. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.